Hello, I'm Daniel Levy. This is In the Pocket, and this week we're going to be taking a look at a few of our, all of our matchups for Week 3, excluding obviously the Thursday night matchup where the Giants routed the Panthers. I will say one thing about that game, though. I'm a little worried about the Panthers. I thought that they were going to be a surprise playoff team this year, and they have certainly not proven themselves so far. So it'll be very interesting to see how they can rebound next week. But for today, obviously, game's starting in about 2 hours. It's 10:12 here on Central Time. So games will be starting fairly soon. And I just wanted to give a quick rundown of the games and, give you a few previews. So, if you have any, I'm checking the chat section, and if you have any comments, if you want to call or text, the number is 312-550-3914. Once more, 312-550-3914. I said 312. I'm going to give you the number one more time because I have a feeling I screwed it up the first time. It's 312-550-3914. 3914 is the ending 4 digits. Okay. So, I'll give you my game of the week when we get to it, but without further ado, let's get started with our first matchup of the day. And we're going to be starting with the later games and going and continuing. So actually, let's start with the Monday night matchup. You've got Green Bay against the Seattle Seahawks, and this is obviously I've got to predict Green Bay to win this one, but it's a very interesting matchup because you've got a good running game. You've got a good running game over in Seattle with Marshawn Lynch. And then you've also got not a terrible passing game out of Seattle. Russell Wilson, he's been good. This guy has been a surprisingly talented quarterback. The only reason he wasn't picked early in the draft was his age. He's a much older guy because he was drafted in the MLB before deciding to go back to school and play college football for Wisconsin. So he is an older guy. I think he's like 26, 28, something like that. So that's one thing that you have to look out for. But 2 touchdowns, only 1 interception so far, 61.1 completion percentage. Aaron Rodgers, not much better, 68.4 completion percentage. 3 touchdowns to 2 interceptions, 522 yards. So, this could be the upset of the week. Seattle is not a bad team. Russell Wilson has a great receiver in Sidney Rice that he can throw to. I'd always look out for Sidney Rice. He played for Minnesota for a few years before going to Seattle, and he's been very talented throughout his career. This year, however, he has 7 receptions for 69 yards and 1 touchdown. And also, Seattle's rushing game is not that bad. You have Marshawn Lynch. Marshawn Lynch is a talent. This guy has big play potential every single time he steps onto the field. So I look for Lynch to have a good game today. Let's take a look at his season stats so far. 47 carries, 207 yards, averaging 4.4 yards per carry and 1 touchdown. Now, if you look at those stats, there's only one thing wrong with them. Seattle has not scored that many touchdowns. Obviously it's early in the season, so looking at that, you can't really say. But if you look at the total yards on offense for each team, Green Bay has 323 and Seattle 285. So these teams are actually very closely matched, even though you would think Green Bay is much better. And I do think Green Bay is much better, don't get me wrong. Green Bay is, obviously a Super Bowl contender, where Seattle is not. But you have to take into consideration, it's just there are always upset capabilities, and they're playing in Seattle, so and this is Green Bay's first game on the road, so who knows? I think Seattle could perhaps pull this one out. It'll be incredible. It'll be a very interesting game. I cannot wait to watch it tomorrow. So my final prediction, however, I'm not. I'm gonna stay safe on this one. I'm gonna say Green Bay 31, Seattle 20. But I think that Seattle's gonna make a few things happen in this game, and I think that Seattle could end up with a 9-7, perhaps even a shocking 10-6 record if they play their cards right. So that wraps up our Monday night game. Now let's go to my personal game of the week, and tonight's game on NBC. New England Patriots against the Baltimore Ravens. The Ravens are at home for this one, and this is their second outing at home, and the Patriots' second outing on the road. And obviously, two division rivals. It's a bitter matchup here. Good rivalry. You've got two incredibly evenly matched teams. Tom Brady, Hall of Fame quarterback, Joe Flacco. Still, I think he has potential to be an elite quarterback. Still sort of figuring some things out. Obviously, New England lacks in the rushing game, while Baltimore excels there. And obviously New England's defense is usually, below average. And you've got Baltimore's defense, which is just incredible. So you really gotta look at all aspects of the game here. Starting with passing, obviously I've got to give the edge to the New England Patriots because of Tom Brady. And let's not forget, obviously, about Gronk, Wes Welker. Brandon Lloyd has been, surprisingly, he's stepped up to the plate. I did not see him coming out. I did not imagine him to come out and be this good. But another thing, if you look at the matchups since 2001, you've got, and I'm sorry, I believe earlier on the show I said that they were divisional rivals. That was fact check. But you've got New England winning 5 out of the 6 games that they've played since 2004, actually, and that's that's a pretty legitimate thing. The Patriots really need to figure some things out in the running game and in the defensive side of the ball, because it really, that's a concern, because you have to be able to run the ball to succeed in the passing game. You have to be able to succeed in the passing game to succeed in the running game. So it's really a two-way street there. And then Baltimore, obviously, they are... they've got some issues in the receiving game. Not a lot. No real number one receiver emerging there, in my opinion. And then Joe Flacco, I think, is a great quarterback. I had him in my top 10 list in our last show a couple of weeks ago, and I'd still keep him up there. He's got a 60.6 completion percentage, 531 yards for 3 touchdowns to only 1 interception. Brady has very similar stats, 66.2 completion percentage, 552 yards, 3 touchdowns to 1 interception. And you look at that ratio, that's my favorite stat. I think that stat can really tell you which quarterback's the better quarterback. Because that's what it's all about. It's all about keeping the ball on your side of the giving the offense the ball and scoring a touchdown. So, if you look at the touchdown to interception, that's dead even, and, I think that's the most important stat for a quarterback. Quarterback rating, sure, it's important, but, I think that touchdown to interception is, tells you more about the quarterback than quarterback ratings do. So you've got this is a great matchup. I'm really looking forward to this game tonight. If you look at the total yards, almost dead even, 389 for New England to 378 for Baltimore. New England has, and in defense, Baltimore has allowed much more yards. And New England's defense, while I still don't see them as an elite defense, they have stepped up to the plate this year. They got quite a few good players in the draft on defense. So, this is going to be a very interesting game. I'm going to pick the Baltimore Ravens to pull this one out in a tight 24-21 matchup. And I look for a big game on the offensive side of the ball for Baltimore. And I think it'll be very entertaining. So that's going to be a great one to look out for. And I'm really looking forward to catching that game tonight, as I'm sure many of you are. So to recap, New England 21, Baltimore 24. That's the prediction. Okay, now we've got the Chiefs and the Saints. Now, obviously, you've got a couple of, you've got two 0-2 teams, and that's interesting. These are two teams I did not see going 0-2. Obviously, the Saints have the whole bounty scandal, blah, 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 blah. Nobody wants to talk about that. That's, old news, and it's no fun to talk about. But, these two teams should not be 0-2 right now. They've made a lot of mistakes. They've allowed way too many points. They both averaged 37.5 points allowed, and that's bad. That's a very bad stat. So you've got two teams who I think have the opportunity to be playoff caliber teams, but aren't playing like it right now. You've got Drew Brees, future Hall of Fame quarterback, 54.5 completion percentage, 664 yards, 4 touchdowns to 4 interceptions, 3 touchdowns to 3 interceptions for Matt Castle, 559 yards, and 58.7 completion. Now, those stats aren't bad. These quarterbacks are not bad quarterbacks. They've got talent. There's no doubt about it. Obviously, Drew Brees is elite. Matt Castle, I like the skill set he brings to the table. He got hurt last year. Obviously, that sort of ended any hope the Chiefs had at a good season. But I think that it's not too late for these teams. I think that the winner of this game could still make the playoffs. However, I don't see an 0-3 team making the playoffs this year. I just don't. I think that it's just the odds are too stacked against you once you go 0-3. I'm gonna say that I have to say I think that the Chiefs are gonna surprise the Saints in this one. I think that the Saints have gone in there too overconfident. Are playing too overconfident right now, and especially with that bounty scandal, you cannot play like that. The Saints are at home, but I think that the Chiefs could upset the Saints 14-10. Kansas City. Kansas City is playing on the road, though, so that could be a factor. So, and obviously the spread would give 3 points to the home team. So, you know what? I'll change it. I'll say 14-13. Chiefs over Saints. Okay. We're going to take a short commercial break, and I'll be back in a second to give you the Steelers-Oakland preview along with some other great games that we have in the NFL this week. I'm Daniel Levy. This is In the Pocket. We'll be right back. And we are back here on In the Pocket, and let's go over to the Pittsburgh game. We're previewing all the Week 3 games here. Any questions, the number is 312-550-3914. Please call, please text, please chat, please go to the chat